What's up guys, Chimp here, and welcome back to a brand new video. And today we're going to be doing another mock draft, a very special one at that, because this mock draft now signifies that the Ravens suck because they're picking at number 18 overall, and the Jacksonville Jaguars have back-to-back number 1 overall picks. And alright, let's be honest about this one thing, okay? The duration, excuse that stutter, the duration of the Kyler Murray era in Arizona has not been able to defeat Detroit. It's just, they always struggle to defeat the Detroit Lions. They'll beat any other team, but the Detroit Lions will just come in their way and they will win that game. And it's so annoying, honestly, to see that a team as good as the Cardinals lose to a team as bad as the Lions. But now the Jags had the number 1 overall pick. It's because they're not 2-11-1, they're 2-12. So they have the worst record in the league, and now they get the opportunity to draft Aiden Hutchinson at number 1 overall. I mean, what can I say, man? The Lions lost the opportunity to draft the best player in this class right now. But, however, they do get a really, really good compensation prize. And they go Kayvon Thibodeau. And let's be honest, I still think there's an outside shot that the Jags take Kayvon Thibodeau at 1. This could always happen. Again, it depends on what the teams are looking for in an edge rusher. Is it potential? Is it athleticism? Or is it power and ability to pressure the quarterback consistently? And if the Jags are looking for a player like really consistent, then they're going Aiden Hutchinson, right? And now remember, both of these guys have injury concerns, so they always have a chance that, they're not going to work out for the teams that they're drafted to. But still, Aiden Hutchinson at 1 is not a full guarantee yet, is what I'm trying to say. Next up, we got the Houston Texans. I think this could be another potential edge rusher with George Karlaftis, and I know he's been getting a ton of hype. However, I don't like George Karlaftis as much as I like David Ojabo, because it's just the style of play that I prefer, Like George Karlaftis, his release is really quick, so he definitely does have a lot of potential. But David Ojabo in like a 3-4 scheme can really benefit because he can also maybe play outside linebacker. I don't think that's his necessary role, and I don't think that's what he's going to do in the NFL level. But look at what happened with Jalen Phillips. The Dolphins are playing him at outside linebacker, even though he literally played defensive end for Miami, right? So you got to think of it that way as well. I'm not going edge rusher here. I just don't think it makes sense because no edge rusher is good value at this pick. I'm going Derek Stingley Jr. They do need help in that secondary. I know that secondary is really good in getting interceptions. Other than that, they're not really good, right? You're getting a really good player right here in Derek Stingley Jr., and it just helps your team. It's what your team needs a lot. And yeah, I know edge rusher needs a lot of help. Look at this edge rusher class. It does not run out, right? You can have a great pick with Drake Jackson, Myjai Sanders, Jermaine Johnson, Kingsley Enagbare, or even Nick Bonitto in the 2nd round. Right now, at number 3, edge rusher is not your main concern. So go Derek Stingley Jr. and get a great player at edge rusher in the 2nd round. Next up, we got the Jets at 4. Going Evan Neal. I don't know why he's way behind Ikem Ekwonu. I don't think that really makes any sense because Evan Neal is still a really good player. And for the Jets O-line, which really needs help on the right side and not the left side, I don't think Ikem Ekwonu, can slide in and play right tackle as well as Evan Neal can, because Evan Neal has played it already. Now, I don't know if Ikem Ekwonu has actually played right tackle, because this is the first year I've ever seen him. I didn't even know this guy existed until this year. But Evan Neal has been playing all over the offensive line in Alabama, and he's been pretty good at all positions. So that's where I think he plays for the Jets, because Mekhi Becton has injuries. They don't have a great right side. He can play guard for them if you need to. He could be all over the place and can be good at all positions. Next up, we got the Giants at 5. Going to Kemikwanu, like, I know that the Giants, like, recently their players have been playing pretty well. I said play really, like, 3 times. But anyways, I know that they've been playing pretty well, but it's just, when you have a guy like a Kemikwanu on the board, do you really trust Andrew Thomas? Like, I know he may have a great year, like, in 2 years, but that's still 2 years, so maybe he doesn't even pan out. Maybe he's just not your guy. So Ikeme Kwanu at 5 just makes a ton of sense for me. And then number 6 is the Giants again. And I have thought about this pick a lot. And it's a really interesting spot because I have seen many picks and I see many scenarios. Like, I know this pick is really outdated, but I kind of see DeMarvin Leal a bit, like, sneak up. You got George Karlaftis, who could go here at 6. Kyle Hamilton could even go here. Like, if Logan Ryan's not your guy and you want Kyle Hamilton to come in, maybe you can have, like, a switching safety combo. Like, it's not exactly the best pick in the world, though. Then you also look at, could they potentially take corner with James Bradbury? Who else is going to be with him, right? And then if they want another interior D lineman, that's a Dave Gettleman pick, right? You can go Jordan Davis. If you want a quarterback, you can go Kenny Pickett or Matt Corral. If you want another edge rusher, you go David Ojabo. But another pick that I've seen come up a ton is Tyler Linderbaum, who's been falling on their draft board. Their draft board's a bit weird, but there's so many outcomes really for this pick. And I've already told you how I like George Karlaftis and David Ojabo. Judging by what the Giants are going to do, I'm going George Karlaftis. But if this was me, I would have taken David Ojabo in a heartbeat because you have O'Shane Zimenez and Lorenzo Carter. And if, like, George Karlaftis can play on the D-line, but in that 3-4, you're still going to have one interior defensive lineman play as an edge rusher, and I don't think that's really how you want it. And I think that's when David Ojabo can come in and play even 3-4 outside linebacker and just, be some guy like Azeez Ojulari has been. But yeah, I mean, George Karlaftis is a good pick too, but I would just prefer David Ojabo. Next up, we got the Panthers at 7. I'm going QB. Like, if you're starting nearly an average of 2 QBs per game, you need a quarterback. And both of these guys are high potential QBs. I kind of like Kenny Pickett a lot, but I like Matt Corral more. And since he's been good for a longer, period of time, rather than Kenny Pickett, who just rose, like, his draft stock just completely has risen up since the start of the year. Like, I knew who he was, but at the start of the year, he was, like, right here, and now he's there. However, guys like JT Daniels and, who are guys, like, of course, Spencer Rattler, but he's playing for South Carolina now, so we'll see how he does there. But yeah, Matt Corral at 7. That's just where I stand on that. You need a quarterback. Next up, we got the Jets at 8. Kyle Hamilton, duh. Excuse that, but Marcus May wants to get traded. I think he's also on the franchise tag, if I'm not mistaken. Kyle Hamilton can even play a bit of linebacker for you, or just in the box play. He is a versatile guy. And just because he's a safety, he could fall to 8. I know they took Evan Neal, and I know, like, the value, I think Kyle Hamilton's better than Evan Neal, but it's just the way that safety is valued related to offensive tackle and the players who could the teams who could take tackle 5, 6, and 7 are going to take Evan Neal, and you're not going to have him on the board at 8. That was a weird explanation, but yeah, Kyle Hamilton at 8. 9, Atlanta Falcons going David Ojabo. I think he's a top 10 guy. Honestly, I think he's worked himself into that role, and The Falcons do need an edge rusher. They need to consistently pressurize the quarterback, and that's when David Ojabo comes in. Honestly, that's what he's going to be doing on any team, and I think he could be really good, like really, really good with the Giants. But I guess the Falcons suits him too. I don't know. Next up, we got the Eagles. Interesting spot because, I mean, I could even see them going Jameson Williams. I'm going with Andrew Booth Jr. I'm sticking with a common pick here, but this could be a receiver. It could be a linebacker. I don't think it will be an edge rusher unless they really think that Trayvon Walker's really good. I mean, I like Trayvon Walker, but I don't think he's a top 10 guy. I think Andrew Booth Jr. is, though. Next up, we got the Vikings at 11. What do I do for the Vikings? Like, honestly, I don't even know. What should I do? Corner, Roger McCreary. I mean, at number 11 overall, that is kind of a stretch. I know he's been really good for Auburn, but I don't know if he needs to be taken at 11. What do I do for the Vikings? I honestly don't even know. That sucks, doesn't it? Ooh. I think I'm gonna go Roger McCreary. Honestly, it's a reach. I get it, but he's been playing so well for Auburn, and he's a great athlete. They need corner pretty badly. I can't really think of a position that they need to address because the Vikings are actually a pretty good team. Next up, we got the Washington football team. If this is not Kenny Pickett, I don't know who else it would be. Like, I guess Charles Cross if you want to tackle. But Kenny Pickett could be our franchise starter. And with Terry McLaurin, Antonio Gibson, Curtis Samuel, you already have a pretty good, surrounding cast. So Kenny Pickett should be pretty good coming out of the gate if this is the set draft order for the actual 2022 NFL draft, which it's not going to be. Next up, we got the Raiders at 13. I mean, Kenyon Green's on the board. Why not? You address that O-line, get the interior of that O-line better. Literally where I'm at right now. Next up, we got the Eagles. Do we go Devin Lloyd? Yeah, I mean, okay, listen. Don't listen to the commentators in college football. Like, they will hype up every single player who's projected to go, in the top 2 rounds. We had Devin Lloyd. I saw Devin Lloyd make one play, and commentators were like, I don't know if you've heard of this guy, number 0, Devin Lloyd. He's been so good for the Utah Utes. I mean, yes, we know, right? But they've done it so much for Sam Howell. Like, if you see 2020 Sam Howell college football games, search that up on YouTube. There will be, every single play. Even if Sam Howell throws an incompletion, there will be oh yeah, but did you see Sam Howell last year? I mean, unbelievable freshman season, broke so many records. And then when he just takes off for a run on 1 yard, they'll be like, oh, such mobile ability. Commentators are annoying, and the reason why I'm taking Devin Lloyd, let's get back on task here. Devin Lloyd has been making a lot of big plays, right? And that's exactly what the Eagles need, a big play, middle linebacker. Here he is, Devin Lloyd. Next up, we got the Broncos. Ooh, do I go Charles Cross? He's a left tackle. What am I saying? We're going Desmond Ridder. I know that just came out of the blue, but I know Desmond Ridder has a ton of accuracy issues. But with that athleticism and the Broncos over the past 5 years, high potential, and Broncos and quarterback, don't usually mix. They're basically oil and water at this point. However, Desmond Ridder could live up to his huge potential, and maybe the Broncos actually want to develop a quarterback this time. Maybe that'll help, right? If you develop his accuracy, Desmond Ridder could be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. If you don't, he will be a huge draft bust, and he will be terrible for your team. That is where I'm at right now. Literally where I'm at. Next up, we got the Steelers. We're going QB again. Like, Malik Willis, I know, has been pretty bad these past, couple of games. But with his high potential, like, we say high potential a lot for different players. Malik Willis, if other players have high potential, this guy is on, I don't know, the highest point on earth. That's where he's at. That's his potential right now. He has a huge arm with huge athleticism. And again, if you can just develop him just like Desmond Ridder, he could be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. If you don't, he will flop for you and be a bad quarterback. And if he flops for the Steelers, they may be forced to start Dwayne Haskins, which is worst case scenario. Alright, the Browns at 17. We have a choice of receivers. And honestly, with what I've seen, Jameson Williams is going to be the first receiver off the board. Because this is honestly where I see him going. Number 17, or, it used to be the Saints at 13 and the Eagles would take Garrett Wilson. But I've really changed my mind that Jameson Williams is the best receiver in this class. And with his deep threat ability, Jameson Williams could be so good for the Browns if Baker Mayfield has the arm, Not the Browns. Ravens at 18. They have been terrible. And I am watching Alan Lazard and Devontae Adams single-handedly shred our secondary into tiny paper strips. It is bad. It is bad. I'm going to, kind of reach for a corner here. And I think it's going to be Ahmad Gardner. Because with his, physicality, and I think he has a lot of athleticism there to unlock, he can definitely cover. He's a corner. What else does he do? Right? He can cover really, really well. And if you don't want Kyrie Elam, if you don't want Trent McDuffie, who, by the way, can do pretty much everything really well, if that's who you want, take him at 18. Even Martin Emerson, I could see sneaking into the late first round because he's just like a regular corner, But Ahmad Gardner at 18, I know that it's a bit of a weird pick, but they need secondary help so much. Saints at 19. Chris Olave or Garrett Wilson, you have your pick. I think receivers are going 19 and 21, or a linebacker goes at 21, like a surprise linebacker, and Nakobe Dean maybe. But I'm going to go Chris Olave. He has a lot of speed as well as good route running. So, there you go. You got a really good receiver, New Orleans. Be happy with that. We got the Bills coming up at 20. Jordan Davis. And the reason why I'm not going to Marvin Leal here at number 20 is because they have been demolished on the run. You got guys like Damian Harris and Derrick Henry, and Jonathan Taylor, who have been running all over them. And I know all those three guys are good, right? But the Patriots passed 3 times against the Buffalo Bills and still managed to win. This is an embarrassment. So the Bills need a pure run stopper, and that's Jordan Davis. And as I was saying, the Dolphins at 21. I know that Jalen Waddle's been looking really good, but you need a guy beside him. Like, Will Fuller has been injured the entire year, pretty much. And then I think Devontae Parker is a bust. Whether or not, with or without the 2019 year, I don't honestly care. He is a bust because he was never, like the number 13 overall pick, or number 12, or number 14, one of those three. He was never that top 15 pick that the Dolphins wanted him to turn into. Anyways, next up we got the Chargers. And again, we need interior D-line here. Jerry Tillery just hasn't been good. He's not lived up to his potential at all. At all. So we're going with another high potential defensive lineman who's also a really, really good athlete, and that is DeMarvin Leal out of Texas A&M. Eagles at 23. I talked about this guy going to the Eagles earlier, and I don't think he went at number 10 or 14. Trayvon Walker out of Georgia. He's been playing really well, and this guy is actually a defensive end. He is not an outside linebacker. He's not an interior defensive lineman. He's a pure defensive end. He cannot play any other position right now, right? Judging by what I've seen, I don't think he will succeed at any of those roles. Lions at 24, I could see them going corner, but I think what their needs are in that secondary, Daxton Hill is just tempting me so much. Because you can see him take snaps at corner even, right? And if you want him to play corner, I've seen mock draft simulators who consider him a corner. I can see that happening in the NFL, right? But they also need safety really bad. So you're getting a hybrid corner/safety here in Daxton Hill, and that's going to help your secondary out a ton. A lot, really. The Bengals at 25, I mean, it's Tyler Linderbaum or Charles Cross. I have not gone with O-lineman. This is interesting. This mock draft has been a bit weird because it's a lot of quarterbacks, and this draft order is just messed up. I'm not used to this. Hold on. Okay, so who would be willing to take a center? I'm going Tyler Linderbaum actually, but I think maybe the Titans, but they have Taylor Lewan. Who wants a left tackle? I don't think. Oh, the Green Bay Packers. All right, so Charles Cross is gonna go at number 32. I'm sorry, but yeah, I mean Tyler Linderbaum just helps the Bengals running game with Joe Mixon averaging less than 4 per carry, not on the season, but a lot. Like these past couple of games, he's not been averaging 4 per carry. You need to help him a lot. You got a beast of a running back right here, and you're not helping him a ton with that O-line. So Tyler Linderbaum is just an absolute steal here at 25. Next up, we got the Titans at 26. I'm going Treylon Burks. I know Julio Jones has a lot of talent left. He's not playing. He is not on the field consistently, right? And that is the problem with him. That's why I'm trying to, get a receiver for the future. A.J. Brown has continuously been injured as well. I don't know what to think about that receiving core because that offense is completely dismantled at some points, and they play absolutely brilliant when they're all actually healthy, right? So Treylon Burks, though, provides them a healthy option at receiver. 27 is the Cardinals. I've seen this pick way too many times. Kingsley Enagbare. I don't even like him, so much. But he's been... Oh, Kingsley Enagbare. Have you ever heard of this guy? Yes, I have. But I've not really gotten a lot of first-round vibes from him. But I guess if people want him to go to the Cardinals, he's going to the Cardinals. I don't know. 28 is the... I forgot their name. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. There we go. Lost 9-0. Yeah, you need a receiver. You desperately need a receiver. Jahan Dotson's on the board. Drake London's on the board. If you want a really big size receiver, he's 6'5". So he's definitely big size. Take Drake London. If you want a smaller guy who's pretty fast though, go Jahan Dotson. And I know Drake London has, a lot of people who think he's in the top in the first round conversation. I think he is, but I just think Jahan Dotson's better. Patriots are up next, and I'm honestly going corner, but I actually want to go Drake London so bad. This is an exact Patriots receiver. He's big sized, but maybe unlike Nelson Aguilar, he can catch. Nelson Aguilar can catch, but he's really inconsistent. Drake London's been playing really well for USC this year. He's just a Patriots receiver. I just get that vibe from him. Next up, we got the Cowboys at 30. Trent McDuffie is such a Cowboys player, honestly, for me. He really is. At number 30 overall, he can tackle. And that's what gives me the Cowboys vibe. Plus, Anthony Brown's not doing it for me. He's not. Trayvon Diggs is not a cover guy. He's a ball hawk, right? Which basically means that, I guess, he picks balls off. What else can I say? Right, that's basically Trayvon Diggs. Trent McDuffie can tackle and is a pretty good zone coverage. That's exactly what I mean by when I say he can do pretty much anything. So Trent McDuffie at 30. 31 is the Kansas City Chiefs. I like Jermaine Johnson. There's a hissing sound coming from downstairs. But the Chiefs at 31. I like Jermaine Johnson, his speed, and the way he tries to get off offensive linemen. Yeah, that's exactly where I'm at on him right now. And 32, the Green Bay Packers taking Charles Cross. I have not taken O-lineman in this mock draft. That's fun. Charles Cross going at 32. I don't think that's what's gonna happen, but maybe, maybe. I don't know. It could. A weird mock draft. Definitely weird, but I did my best. Of course, Jags picking at 1. Then we got Charles Cross going at 32. Pretty much no lineman. And the Ravens picking at 18, which is fun. I'll see you in the next video, guys.